Okay. So basically we left off on, I do believe, chapter 9. If you're back or coming from YouTube, welcome back. And of course, I just started streaming today. We did the first 8 chapters yesterday. This is the Nixperience Band challenge walkthrough, in which you go through the entire game with getting no experience. It is a DLC that you can download for free. And it gives you the accessories that not only boost your AP in battle, they also, like I said, give you the Nixperience Band, which makes it so you don't collect experience, so you can challenge yourself and beat the game while staying level 1. This is a walkthrough guide for this whole shebang-a-bang. And most of the prep work in terms of setting yourself up to beat the entire game is done in chapters 1, 3, and 4, or you can just basically do everything in chapters 1, 2, well, 1 and 3 mostly, or even 1 and 2, but for the first 4 chapters there's a lot of prep work, and then after you get everything set up for yourself, you're pretty much on a non-stop collision course to the end of the game. If you're here for cutscenes, I'm skipping all of them, but you can always check out my YouTube channel. I have a regular normal guide walkthrough for Final Fantasy 15 in case you want to see the game in all its splendor. I mean, that's pretty much about it. You can see all the first playthrough I had, and it has all the cutscenes and everything like that, but this is just basically to show how I handle the fights and encounters as level 1. And that's about it.
The government issued a statement promising that the reasons behind awakening the Hydrian would be clarified in the ceremonial address.
Got a signal!
Delivering the address will be Lady Lunafreya, who was previously reported dead. This will mark her first public appearance since the violence that befell the signing ceremony.
Lady Lunafreya's gonna give a speech?
Sounds like it.
Lord knows. This world could use some wisdom. Won't be much longer now, Noct.
Yeah.
Does this vessel have an entry permit?
Entry permit?
Relax. I got one.
The only thing that we have to worry about for this is that there's nothing that's particularly hard about chapter.
Game's in order.
Nothing's hard about this chapter. Chapter 8. The weirdest thing is that you fight Leviathan at a weird time where you don't have your food buff. So what we're going to attempt to do is, I never tested this, but try to have my food buff during Leviathan. If we have the food buff versus Leviathan, it will make it very easy, very straightforward. It won't be a bad fight. If we don't have the food buff, which is the equalizer, then it will just take longer, but it's still not really a hard fight. It just takes a long time. After this chapter, 9, 10, 11, and 12 are pretty straightforward and easy, followed by 13, which is probably has the hardest boss to deal with on this run. Well, to be honest, he's really not that hard in my opinion. It's just he takes a long time to kill, even if you got pretty good setup stats and what have you not. And chapter 13 drags on pretty horribly. And there's nothing you can do about that until in the future they decide to patch and change things around. So we're just going to go directly for the juggler here. We're going to get through this area as fast as possible and proceed onwards.
There's still more?
Sir, what is the
Purpose, Ignis, a little help?
Utterly hopeless. We are scholars of the culinary arts, and we've come to study the renowned cuisine of your fair nation.
Is that
Another one, you...
So basically, we just have to go to certain quest points and talk to certain NPCs to trigger all the events, and eventually go fight Leviathan. When we fight him, it ends the chapter. We will try to go back in time, get a camp, and eat food right before we fight Leviathan up into that point. Hopefully, like I said again, hopefully the food buff carries over. If it does, we will be able to kill him very quickly. If not, it's going to be a very slow time, which sucks, but it's not the end of the world, so we'll just see how it goes. At this point in the game, if you ever want to, if there's not a camp directly in the dungeon or progressing onward through the storyline, you actually have to use Umbra, the dog, to travel back in time to eat your food buff and then come back to the present, and then you just basically do as much as you can until it cuts off your food buff, if that makes sense. So, I mean, that's just kind of how it works. We're going to be going back in time, camping, eating our food buff, coming back to the present, and playing as much as we can until it resets. And then once it resets, we come back and do the same thing again. And that's it.
Care for a ride?
It's a lot of cutscenes, a lot of dialogue, so... It would have been nice if they included like a dungeon or something right before you fight Leviathan, but maybe that's just me asking too much.
Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure.
That's just my personal thing. The way I see the world and stuff.
Welcome to Accordo, lads. Sid mentioned you'd be dropping in. Wescamarma, as you've gathered. My word, you've grown, little prince. Ah, but of course. You were only a babe at the time.
Let's take a look inside.
So this is the first gentleman we gotta talk to. I'm assuming if you're watching this guide or you're seeing what's up, you already know the whole storyline and what have you not. So, apparently he likes to stare at me in the eyes. Maybe something happened with the loading. Sometimes it happens. There we go.
So this is your mate? You
This country.
So basically, I'm not going to ask him too many questions. No need to, in my opinion. That's all. Just want to move on through the storyline so we can get through the rest of this game.
Where?
Thanks.
Oh, my dear Camellia, it's been a while.
Here comes Camellia.
I heard
You'll be
about your
holding a conversation
distinguished
with her
guests.
later, but like I said, it has no impact
you
on your level 1 playthrough. Unless you're doing some side quests here, or some things like that. They do have hunts that you can do here, but that's really about
If you've a mind
it.
to talk, come to my estate.
The hunts are, some of them are interesting. There's one hunt here that works with the side quest from the photographer that gives you quests from Lestalem.
But I assure you,
Granted, if you did
your
enough
heart's in the
quests for
right
him to
place.
send you here and do the quest that is here.
That and the
Yeah, I think we'll do just that.
Pays you a lot of money. It's pretty solid. Definitely advise using him in the beginning of your first playthrough because he provides you a lot of money so you can get through the game. As long as you have money, the game is pretty much and you have knowledge of what you need to do with that money.
Here to take a cruise?
It's pretty straightforward. So I do believe I'm trying to think to myself here. We're gonna go here first. We need to check into the hotel. After we check into the hotel, we're gonna go from the hotel, and then it's gonna let us know we can go back in time and do all that kind of stuff, and then we're gonna go talk to the Chancellor. So
Fantastic.
before it
All
gets
we
to the
need to
point
ride
where it
back.
says this is the last moment before you can do anything else, I am going to go and attempt to go get my food buff.
Hey, Noct! You see that? Gentiana.
So here's Gantiana,
Ahead lies
or
a future
Gintiana.
uncertain.
This is
yet
when she
sure
introduces
is the
Umbra or whatever.
astronomy,
And this will be at the point in the game where everything's in the present or the future. Or basically, technically, everything's in the present. Everything else is in the past. So you got the Messenger's Amulet, and now we can go back in the past. If needed. So that's that.
Well, guess we need to go talk to Camellia.
yeah, like we have any other option.
There's no telling how events will unfold.
So I'm pretty sure if I talk to Camellia, and this is like this is the
Yeah,
this is
she
their
can sit
last
that a
thing you
while.
can do, it will give me a prompt. If that happens, then we'll go back. We'll eat the food and then come back and initiate everything that starts to fight with Leviathan, and hopefully the food buff stays on me. If it doesn't, well, there's nothing I can really do about that, and it is what it is, and I can't control that, so... Like I said, I'm really just hoping the food buff carry over, not because it's hard, but just because it makes it a lot easier.
Oh,
It
there's
speeds the
supposed to be a
process.
real good photo spot around here.
Really hate Prompto right now. As you can see, he wants to take photos
Save
of
it
the
for
world.
later.
And he's just crying like, Prompto, I got time for your shit. This is just a level 1 playthrough. We ain't worried about all the extra mechanics and stuff like that. We're just worried about, getting through the game. Lightning, fire, and ice magic here. You won't need it in the next fight. I would not advise casting any type of magic in the next fight because it's a complete waste. So all our magic's capped out, so when that usually happens, we'll just craft some magic real quick. We still got a lot of dual cast 2-chain 99 spells, which is good. And that match is gonna last us for a very long time. Let's see here. We could use Cerberus Claws, we could use Slide Scale 2-chain level 88 dual cast. Yeah, that's actually pretty solid. That's pretty solid. We'll just go ahead and use that. 252 potency. We'll save that for certain bosses like that. And it's stored. So we'll tap off our magic, then we'll go talk to Camille. If she says this is the last thing before we start the Leviathan thing, then we'll go ahead and go back in time, camp real quick, eat our food, come back, and then initiate the Leviathan fight. As I think I said 3 or 4 times already, but say it more of as to remind myself. So we're up here, and then like I said, it will let us know before things get crazy, so we'll see. Once the negotiation, you will be honored to return to the city. Are you sure you wish to continue? So we're gonna go ahead and hit no. We're gonna go back, rest in the hotel, go eat our food, and come back and see what happens. If you get lost your first time around here, just remember there's upper and lower floors and to use the gondolas, but after you mess around in Altissa so much, for me, I remember my first time I was here, it took me like 3 hours to understand where everything's at, but as I played the game again repeatedly, I was able to understand how the city, for the most part, how the city is kind of laid out. So sometimes I even have to stop and look at myself and get my bearings. Most of the times you just want to use a gondola though, because the gondola just gets you where you need to go instantly. I'm actually looking right here. Yeah, I think I might be a little lost here. Or maybe not, we'll see in a second. Yeah, okay, I'm going the right direction. I know I wasn't going too crazy yet. So it's downstairs here. We'll go ahead and
Did you
go
see
back
that
and
note?
past.
What is it?
Knock that out. Let's see here. Oh, there's an item here. Hey, Biggs, how you doing, buddy? Just knocking out these last chapters for the level 1 playthrough. It's been a pretty interesting thing, doing a level 1 playthrough. It does make things a little bit harder, but again, if you know what you need to do and you have a set strategy, it's not that bad, actually. Experience ZX, never got that before. I'm a little lost down here, trying to get around so I can get to the end. We're on the bottom floor, so there should be a way that connects through. I have been to this area before, though. Yeah, definitely. Being over leveled made it makes it a big joke. Especially if you got some nice ice magic for Ifrit, the last guy. All your levels just make it go by faster. It doesn't really feel like I felt like the last boss was the end boss of chapter 13, and then everything else after that was just a formality. Ravis, to me, in my personal opinion, was the hardest boss in this game. Alright, so we're back here.
Greetings.
We're gonna go ahead and call Umbra. Yeah, I don't blame you doing a break outside. You could always just start off a new game fresh and try level 1. It is fairly interesting. Yeah, he really didn't do anything but hurt you a lot. As long as you had healing items, he really didn't do any crazy attack. And you just kind of beat him down. You can't really burst him down. It's just like a battle of attrition where you're just trying to beat him down and keep yourself healed. Ifrit was a really cool fight in the sense of it being epic, and it actually felt like... I wish Leviathan and Titan would have been like those fights where it's actually, you could lose, you can actually die, or you could actually have problems. Ifrit was a cool fight like that, where you actually felt like you were whooping his ass and you had to call the summons and beat him. Titan and Leviathan, you can't lose those fights. So it made it a little bit weird. But Ifrit was cool. Last boss, Adrian, he was just basically just spam circles. So I really don't know how to feel about all that. You know. You know, but that's just me. You know, it's just a little weird, just a little weird.
Howdy, Prince. Do you mind swinging by the garage for a hot minute? We've been experiencing some awful strange shakes back here in Lead. The hunters are already looking into it, but I reckon they could use a couple more hands.
Got it. On our way.
Yeah, pretty much the hunts and stuff like that was a lot, definitely more challenging. That is for damn sure. The level 1 quest, I'm sorry, not the level 1 quest, the, ooh, okay, that was a house over there. The, level 1, not the level 1, I'm sorry, the dungeon that has no items, like you can't use items, that is actually pretty hard. However, what people do is they go in, clear a certain amount of monsters, come out, go back in, clear a certain amount of monsters, come out until they clear all the way to the boss. And then they just walk down to the boss and just save right before it and figure out, okay, well, how do I beat it or what's the strats? Kind of cheese it out. I talked to Saves about this, that if you go into that no item level dungeon, you should, okay, the way they should have did it is once you go in, you cannot come out. Like, you have to beat it. Or if you come out, then what they do is they reset the dungeon. But thinking about the current type of generation of gamers, I don't think people would like that. They would freak the fuck out. People are already getting mad about, whatchamacallit. People were getting mad that the platforming dungeon, at the end, if you missed that last jump, you had to go all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah? I'm pretty beat.
Yeah, the mobs don't reset.
And head for the hotel?
Yeah,
No
but I mean, that's just that new age
moving.
of gaming now, you know, and that's how they do
Seriously?
stuff, unfortunately.
When will it end?
And there's not much you could do about it. And, you know, this is how the world works. But I mean, you know, like if you want to make the game harder, you can just put your own stipulations on you.
Noct. The roads are perilous at night. We best head back into town.
I'm sick of your shit, Ignis.
I'll take the wheel from here.
I like
So
Ignis
be it.
when he went blind. He stopped telling me what the fuck to do.
You keep the recklessness to a minimum.
All I want to do is go to this camp, rest, eat my food, go back, slaughter Leviathan.
It's rather dark out. You sure you can handle this?
I can see fine.
But I guess
Go
the
on
hardness
for a
in the
while.
game is from grinding. Because I guess if you just said you're not going to do any extra grinding, you're just going to fight shit as it comes out to you, that is pretty difficult. You know, but like even then it's like, I don't know. Like I said, the only way to make the game hard for you, or I feel like any RPG to a certain extent, is that, especially in solo play ones, you have to put stipulations on yourself, like no magic, no leveling, no grinding.
Everybody out.
Things like that. If you do that, you can make the game harder.
Taking a walk on the
I think
wild side?
speedrunning is
nature in
probably
the
your
middle
best
of
way.
nowhere.
Like, how fast can you beat the game? Or like, how fast can you 100% the game? Or like, how, like, a good run would be, how long does it take me to clear all the dungeons, right? Or another one would be like a level 1 challenge, right? Clear all the dungeons while being level 1. Now the level 1 challenge with a combination of no items, that might actually be pretty difficult and pretty fun to do. Like after I finish this run, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a walkthrough of the game and see how fast I can beat it. Or not even a walkthrough, just see how fast I can beat the game in one sitting. Just spam through everything based on my knowledge, what I know, no level restrictions, just beat the game as fast as possible. I think I can get the game beat in 6-7 hours. You know, so that's what I'm going to do tomorrow, because by the end of the day, I'll have this game beat for the level 1 guide. I already uploaded chapters 1 through 8. 9, 10, 11, 12 will go up. 13, well, all of the chapters are going to go up today, but I'm just not looking forward to chapter 13, dog. I know you went through chapter 13, dog. I don't want to go through this shit no more, Biggs. That is the only thing that makes my penis flaccid in this game, dog. Fucking chapter 13. I don't know who made that shit, but somebody just needs to get their ass whooped. Like if I met the whole Final Fantasy guys, like, oh, I worked on chapter 13, I would slap the shit out of them. Yeah, it was easy, but it was so long. It was longer than necessary. Yeah, you don't sneak, you just went up and just, yeah, you know, that's just how it is. It sucks when you do level 1 playthrough because it takes longer. Because you gotta be, well, you don't have to be careful, but the thing that saved me was that I already cleared the game, so I know what it needed to do. But doing that shit at level 1, man, you didn't have enough mana to fully drain. You don't drain them as fast, you don't kill them as fast, because you're level 1 and you don't have the food buff. And you gotta go through all that bullshit, but once you get to the point, there's a couple hard battles. But then again, to be fair, yeah, you can't just suck them inside of the, you can suck them inside the vortex. That's what you have to do sometimes. But once you get your crew back and you unlock your powers, the rest is easy. Because then after that point, well, I got the rest of my crew, right? Well, fuck it. You know, it's, you just finish the game or whatever. You go back in time, you eat your equalizer food, and that's it. Okay, I only got 4 of these. Or after this one, I got 3 of them left. So I'm just thinking to myself, I'll have to buy a little bit more. I don't know. The thing I just factored in is that you killed Ardian. That was it. You killed yourself because you had to save the world. You bring the light back to the world. Everybody lives happy ever after, but you and Luna and anybody else and Ardian, y'all die. Just everybody died. I don't know until Square Enix decides to do some type of sequel or prequel, or maybe do a Final Fantasy 15-2 bullshit what happens after Noctis, if they choose to do so. But I just assumed everybody, the main guy died, the hero sacrificed himself, everybody goes on living.
I need you to come with me tomorrow morning. Help me, Noctis. You're my only hope.
The fucked up thing is, when you think about it, I think everybody's fucked over, in all honesty. Because there is no more king, there is no more Niflheim, the Niflheim kingdom is gone, they fucked up. There is no more, the Niflheim kingdom's gone, they're fucked up, they're all dead, right? Noctis is his whole father's kingdom. I mean, there's still got people who descended from that kingdom, like I'm sure there's some people who descended from Niflheim. But everybody's dead. Everything, like, resets. Like, I imagine there was it's probably a big ass war afterwards to who can seize power and control. Yeah, it could be. I mean, it depends. If Square Enix wants to spin it some way and make money, they could. Just the way I'm thinking about it right now, I don't know, man. I think war would erupt. A struggle for power would be the next thing. It'd be interesting to see how that goes, because somebody has to seize control or power. Maybe the next person in line that might seize control of, like, royal blood, or that could probably maybe do it, is Gladio, because his family's rich and powerful, and they were always the defendants of the king of Insomnia, so maybe Gladio makes a grab for power, but that's not in his character. But I mean, maybe that makes for good discussion, but it's up to Square Enix. They'll find a way to get more money out of 15. If you go back and you look at Final Fantasy VII Remake, when they actually showed the gameplay, like the actual in-game combat, it's the same as Final Fantasy 15, so that same engine they use for this game is going to be used for Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is not a bad thing if they do it well, because I did enjoy the combat system, but what I didn't like is I felt like I could never die, you know? At least in other Final Fantasies, well, if one of your character dies, it ain't no heal him and get him back up before he fades away, and then you phoenix down and you revive back to full life. It's like that motherfucker's dead, and now you got a way between getting them back up and trying to healing and, you know, trying to survive the next set of attacks.
Supermodels.
Yeah. And then the easy mode is whenever you die, I heard Carbuncle comes in and re-reses you.
Be a seaside supermodel.
So, you know, like I said, the biggest thing I like about this game is because, you know, like, to be fair, with any RPG, you could easily beat the game, no problem, if you prepare yourself, right? Like, if you level and shit, but even then, dog, I feel like you can't fail. I really feel like you can't fail. That's how I feel. I just feel like you can't fail at all. It's really hard to. Like, you have to go out of your... It's more harder to make yourself lose than to do well. Yeah, I even said that in titles for veterans and first timers. Like, I just think they should have just had a rude awakening and just let motherfuckers die and just start... Oh, you didn't cast this spell or do this, you died. You had to make sure you do this many attacks before you died. You know, just have something like that, you know? Final Fantasy VII, other places like that, you didn't do this shit right early on, you would die. I don't know, man. That's my big thing. Other Final Fantasies, if you wandered around some place and you didn't know any better, some things would just kill you. And if you weren't prepared for certain bosses, you would just die. Like, in hindsight, the Temple of the Ancients, when you went after to get the black materia and you went in there with Eris and then, like, you did all those fucking different things and you had to fight that demon wall. That demon wall was no joke. I remember I thought I saved and I couldn't go level up anywhere. And I actually had to reset my game from disc 1 to make sure I was leveled enough to beat the demon wall. But I found that later on, if you go in the room where you try to turn the black materia into, or trying to turn the temple into black materia, there is a dragon that will spawn there that I could have killed. And then use the NPC to keep restoring my HP and MP and leveled up until I was, like, strong enough to beat the demon wall. But back in the day, you didn't know that shit. So it's like, shit, right? Oh god, I'm fucked. I saved in a place where I can't go back, I can't level up. I gotta reset my whole fucking game and start from the beginning. And that's what I did, and that was one of the little charms of it, because when I came back, I was hella leveled up and whooped the shit out that demon wall because I was hella pissed. I went through like 12, 13, 14 hours of gameplay just to get my ass whooped by this wall, not knowing there's a place to get lit. But I mean, that was a cool thing back in the day, but if they had that now, I think most of the gamers now would be very frustrated and be complaining on the forums and bitching about it. Like, Chapter 13 was stupid because it took too long. It was just too long. And I get it. It was just I would have rather had a cool dungeon or some switch-up fights and stuff like that. But yeah, anything where people have to restart the beginning of the game because they fucked up a save, yeah. I mean, to me, that's old school hilariousness, but the new school kids wouldn't like that. They'd be pissed. Yeah, because you don't want to get your ass shitted on, and you don't want to deal with all that.
Thank you for coming.
No sweat. First things first.
Express gratitude.
Thanks for coming to greet us in person.
It's the least I could do for a king. Wescom didn't extend me an invitation, so I decided to extend my own. Though circumstances have changed, both the king and the oracle are finally in Altisha.
You said that you have Luna in your care. Doesn't that pose a risk to your nation?
Is the king concerned for our relations with the Empire? But it's true. The oracle is a risk, one we are prepared to shed with. Whether we do so depends on you. Now let me ask some questions of my own. Why does the oracle seek to awaken the Hydrian?
She wants to forge a covenant so I can receive Leviathan's blessing.
The answer I wanted to hear. And yet, king or not, It can't be a simple affair.
Yep,
for you
multiple
to receive
saves
a
is the
god's
thing.
blessing.
Gone are those days. They got auto save up the ass, and you just
The
died recently on the
potential
boss, and they
chaos
auto
looms.
save. You just return back
You
to
know
auto
better
save,
than
and you
most
can
what
leave
took place
safely.
in Lucis
The
with
games
that.
warn you now. You're about to go fight a hard boss. Be sure you're ready. And the guy's like, you know what? I was getting my ass whipped all through this dungeon. Let me go ahead and go back and level up a little bit more. So
He gave me his power.
Just like the legends, though the Empire doesn't like the way the story goes. Even as we speak, they mobilize their forces. It seems there's no avoiding chaos. It will most likely come to war. However, I don't care
like the whole day curse
for
to
myself.
waste time driving to
gods
earn
and the
AP.
Empire
Yeah, that's so
began.
weird. I never got that skill, but yeah, the AP for driving. Yeah.
Would be a disaster.
I mean, I still like the game. It's just, and I think what I liked about it was the grindiness of it doing the quest. It felt like my MMORPG. The combat system was pretty cool. You know, all that stuff was fun. The dungeons, but just
No doubt about
on
it.
the other hand, it's just
We're
once
in
you
the
learn the
midst of
mechanics of the
making
game, it's like, oh,
plans,
this is
and
really
it
not
was
that
to
hard
discuss your
at all.
involvement in them
You know.
that I called you here. Without further ado, let us talk terms. If you wish to hold the right, you must ensure my citizens' safety and aid in their evacuation.
All right. I'll do as you ask.
I'm pleased to hear it. As long as the people's safety is assured, I have no qualms with your right. And that is not all. Once the rite has begun, I will not be accountable for what follows. You are on your own.
Not a problem. We know how to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, it could have been a lot much better if it didn't hold your hand as much, a lot tougher, if they had a shit ton of backstory. They should have had so many flashback sequences that discuss the dialogue and stuff like that. I don't think you should have begun the game with you and Noctis leaving. Like, they could have had a bunch of storyline before that. They could have had you play from when he was a kid and upwards and shit like that. You know, like, kind of like, that would have made more sense to me in all honesty. But, you know,
All right.
the game took so long, and I guess they got to a point where they just said, you know what, let's just get this fucking game out. We need to make money.
Well, you can trust us to do our
And
part.
they're gonna add the Prompto, the Gladio, and the Ignis DLC, but I feel like if you guys got that shit, I'm pretty sure they got it ready. I don't think they're developing it now. So I'm pretty sure they cut that out of the game to have DLC, which it should have been in there.
And Oracle.
Like when Gladio leaves your party for a while, he comes back with that extra scar on his forehead, and where'd you get that from? You should have seen the other guy. Oh, okay. Like, you know, things like that. It's just weird. Just
Thanks.
You've made the right
But I mean,
decision.
we were talking about on the podcast for how long? That's the new thing. Make 100% fully fledged products, and then what you do is you cut out 40% of it, you give them 60 even though you have 100%, and then you break the 40% extra up into little chunks and sell it to people as DLC, and that's just the way they hustle and get more money out of you, which I respect. In a business sense, from a player sense, that sucks balls, you know? But I mean, if somebody was going to pay me a bonus, said, Debo, how are we going to make more money for this game? If you figure out how we can make more money for this game, we'll give you more money. Okay, well, what we're going to do is we got 100% ready to go Kingdom Hearts game, right? We're going to shave off about 30 to 40% of this and that and these certain worlds and stuff like that, break it up into little chunks and sell each portion of it as DLC. Well, this stuff is already to go in the game. Yeah, but we want to make more money. They're going to buy the game anyway.
What can I say?
I mean,
I have a
it's not like people are going to stop pre-ordering and buying shit. To be fair, I pre-bought the whole Kingdom Hearts next month because I figured I might as well do it while I had the funds. And I can see myself playing it because I know no matter how bad the storyline is, I'm going to like the actual combat system. I will enjoy it. You know, the combat system, the exploration of this game, I enjoyed it. But, yeah. The storyline was just whack. Now it says the day of the riot. Yeah, that's next month, around 24th. I look forward to that. So, hopefully I don't lose my food buff. I think I just did lose my food buff. I ate before I came, so I don't think you can keep your food buff.
During the rite, we must see.
Yeah, Tales. I heard somebody else recommended that game to me as well too.
Gonna be tough to
Is that
pull
game
off
already out,
before
or
the
is
king
it
receives her power.
getting ready to come out?
And with 3 of us on evacuation detail.
Indeed.
Oh, it's out
The
already.
best we can realistically do is to help the Hydrian help herself.
What kind of help you talking about?
Just like Titan, the Empire will seek to immobilize Leviathan.
Oh, with the harpoon
It's on
things?
PC, huh?
If we can dislodge them from the goddess, she will have a fighting chance.
Sounds good in theory, but don't push it. It's pointless, unless you can get that blessing.
Stay flexible, stay alert.
All right, will do.
Well, it looks pretty cool. I might do that. Oh, January 24th, 2017. It's not out yet. Okay, that might be something to look into. Please let me have my food buff. All I want is my food buff. Please don't take away my food buff. I think these niggas took away my food buff, which was going to make this Leviathan fight very slow, which means the whole point of me going out and camping was a waste of time. The next time I do go camp, I'm going to have to go back to Lestalem and recap up on some supplies. We'll see. Please let me have my food buff. Please. If not, this is going to be painful as shit. I don't want this Leviathan fight to take... Well, it'll take 10 minutes, but I'd like it just to be like 3. This fight and Chapter 13 do not enjoy. I do not like these fights. Yeah, Tails game don't handhold. That's pretty good then. All right, here we go.
You in position?
Yep.
Don't forget the plan.
You guys too.
Of course.
We got a food buff. Yes! We kept our food buff! Yes! Yes, we kept our food buff. Oh, great God, yes. Oh, thank God. Because the first time I didn't think to eat before I fought Leviathan. Let me tell you, that shit took forever. Oh, I feel so much better about myself right now. I am so happy. You have no idea how happy I am right now. Because that fight took forever. I was very depressed when that happened.
Knocked. The Empire's here.
I can see him.
Dropships are closing in on the port. Look for a vantage point to approach them.
Okay, look after the citizens.
I wish they would have released the extra, at least for digital download on the PlayStation 4, like the other Kingdom Hearts games. But, I mean, I'd have been playing those. But, you know, after I got these guides done for Final Fantasy. Because, like you said, I wanted to make the regular walkthrough, which I did. And then I wanted to, which is right here, I'll link it in chat, but I wanted to also make the level 1 walkthrough, which is what I'm working on right now. But after that, like, even just showcasing the extra dungeons or the hardest dungeons, I don't really see a point in it, because it's like, to me, none of those dungeons are hard. It's just how much preparation do you have and how much healing items you have. As long as you have money, like I said before in this game, you don't really have to worry about anything. Money was the hardest part of this game. Getting the money. Wasn't about the levels, wasn't about the AP skills. Well, maybe a couple here and there, but really, I just needed the money. Because as long as you have money, you can buy equalizer food, and that buff is incredible.
Almost there.
Because I do more damage on my level 1 playthrough than my normal playthrough, or my other playthrough when I walked through and just did it like a guy.
Already begun.
Most likely.
Time to lend the Hydrian a hand.
Yeah, hunts do give a lot of money. That's why for the level 1 playthrough, Chapter 1 was just me doing all the local hunts. And then after that, what it evolved to was me going to Chapter 2, doing some basic stuff, stocking up on magic. Chapter 3 was me farming up and doing a couple hunts, but mostly just doing some side quests. A photographer guy, you know, Biggs in Lestalem, who gives you those jobs to go take photos, he gives you a shit ton of money. You do all his or most of the ones up until the point where he sends you to the mountain. You do his first 3 or 4. That, and then you get the assassin daggers, and that's all you really need, man. Because, like, with the level 1 playthrough, I sell most of my accessories. I don't even have to use the extra accessories or whatever. So between selling money from my accessories that I get and also selling the extra items I get, that's about it. Yep, 180k up. It's gonna be interesting to play this game through like a speedrun because, like I said, I don't think it'll be that bad.
Prompto's headed your way.
Just beat the game as quick as possible.
We'll wait below. There's only room for 2.
Okay.
Jump!
What?
No time for questions!
Man.
I will say this, the whole visualization, this whole fight is cool. It's just nothing difficult about it.
Here she comes! I got this. I'll get as close as I can. Then it's up to you. All right. Won't be long. Hey, nice job finding this baby. The moment I saw her, I knew we'd go places. Not again. Not making this easy. Hold on tight. Dude, don't let go.
You know what, too? The last time I talked to Leviathan, I did something where I pissed him off. I acted like an asshole, said, fuck you, give me my power, and that made Leviathan even stronger. So it could have been that as well, too, what made him take longer to kill. So we're not going to piss Leviathan off. We got nothing to prove. So if you want to make him more of a dick, just demand her power and then be a dick. But I'm not doing that this time because I don't want to waste time. I want to move on.
I need your power!
I think that was it, right? Alright, here we go.
So the only way you'll help me is if I take you down?
Yeah, you know what? We're just gonna wait for her over here. I ain't got time for all this shit. And it knocked me off again. See, this is the same exact problem I had last time. See, I can get back on that platform. Very weird. So yeah, we're just gonna wait for Leviathan. And once Leviathan starts charging, we'll just... Nope, knock this off again. Yeah. There goes Leviathan, and Leviathan's angry as shit right now. There we go. I guess we just needed to land a couple attacks. Can we skip this? No, we can't. Now it's the easier part. I will shut the fuck up during this point because I do enjoy the music. There we go. That's it. So yeah, this is a lot cleaner this time than last time, because last time I didn't have my equalizer Fu buff on and it took a hell of a lot longer. But it's over. That's that. Now we can move on to chapter 9. That should end the chapter. So if you're watching on our YouTube right now, as I upload this guide or record the segments of it, we'll be going over to the next video soon for you guys. But if you're watching this live streaming, we're just gonna keep going on and keep it moving. But that should actually end the chapter. This should be the end of the chapter. And we're on to chapter 9. 9's gonna bug away quick, 10 and 11 and 12, and then 13's gonna be fucking terrible. I am not looking forward to chapter 13. That is gonna be very depressing. Yep. And that concludes this chapter. And we go ahead and begin chapter 9. The only thing I remember in... Oh, I'm sorry. That was chapter 9. Now we're in chapter 10. I lost my mind.